evening, everyone, and welcome to 27 Minutes here on WJTS UPN 27. On Tuesday of this week, there was a very special Veterans Day program at Jasper High School. We will take you there right after this.
Jasper High School has what I think is a very proud tradition of having a Veterans Day program that is totally appropriate in honoring veterans. Some of the most pleasant feelings I have about being here at school have occurred on Veterans Day. And I think today is going to be one of those days that is going to not only be meaningful to some of our veterans that are here today, but I hope it's going to be extremely meaningful to you, and I hope that we all appreciate the sacrifices and the appreciation that we have to these gentlemen for what they've done for us. I think it would be appropriate if we had just a brief summary. I know you've been doing this in your U.S. history classes, but a brief summary of the formation or history of the Veterans Day. On November the 11th in 1918, that was the official end of World War I. This date was set aside to observe appropriate celebrations and ceremonies depicting the end of that particular war. And then again in May the 13th, 1938, Congress declared that November the 11th would become a legal holiday, and that holiday would be known as Armistice Day. And the Armistice Day would be dedicated to veterans who served in World War I. And then again in 1954, after the end of World War II, the word armistice was stricken from the legislation, and the word veteran was inserted. And on June 1st, 1954, November the 11th became a day to honor all American veterans who have served in all wars. And the next important piece of legislation that we're concerned with today is the Indiana Veterans Affairs Administration enacted legislation that enabled schools such as Jasper High School to confer a high school diploma to any veteran, World War I and World War II veteran, who left school and served in the services from the dates of, I think it was June 1941, November, I believe, 1941 to June 30th, 1946. And when we found out this piece of legislation, we thought, what a great way to appropriately spend our Veterans Day program. And we had no idea exactly how many World War II veterans we could get here today. But as you can see, we have 20. And I think we were able to contact 23. So 20 out of 23 World War II veterans that we were able to identify and contact have shown up here today, and we're extremely pleased that that is the case. I would like now, if I could, to introduce some of our special guests that are here today. I would like to start on the back row, because the first two rows are very special guests, the veterans. They'll be honored here in just a little bit, but on the back row, of course, we have Mr. Bob Stephanado, our assistant principal. you'd like to stand. Next to Mr. Steppenagel is our superintendent of schools, Dr. Larry Riggs. And Dr. Riggs is an Army veteran who served for 2 years in Korea and was on the demilitarized zone. And we appreciate Dr. Riggs' support of our programs, and he has a part that he'll be participating in later on. Next to Dr. Riggs is Assistant Superintendent Mr. Gerald Van. Then Mr. Harold Shipp, our Curriculum Director. Then our School Board Attorney, Mr. Arthur C. Nordahl. Then our Vice President of our School Board, that is Mr. Ron Hempsel. Mr. Hempsel is also an Army veteran, a very important Army veteran. He served in the Vietnam War with Company D, 131st Ranger Infantry. His unit in the Vietnam War, the 151st Infantry, was the most decorated unit in all of the Vietnam War. So Mr. Hempsel has served in a very most dedicated and victorious way for all of us. After Mr. Hempsel is our board secretary, Mr. Bernie Vogler. And next to Mr. Vogler is a former teacher at Jasper High School, a former outstanding educator at Jasper High School, Mr. Al Schuler. And Mr. Schuler's special contribution to this program is he supplied names, he supplied telephone numbers, addresses, and he was one of the contact persons that we were in contact with almost daily to get this program going. Mr. Schuler is the commander of the American Legion Post 147. And then after Mr. Schuler is the commander Paul Chanley. Paul is the commander of Post 673, Veterans of Foreign Wars. And Mr. Chanley served in a similar capacity as Mr. Schuler. We attended one of their functions during, I think it was October, a large attended function to explain this program. And so we appreciate Mr. Chanley's contribution to our program. And then next to Mr. Chanley is Major Mike Grunman. And Mr. Grunman is well known to students here at Jasper High School. He's a basketball official. He's also just a supporter and worker for Jasper High School. I would like to say that it is my understanding that Mr. Grunman is a Bronze Star recipient in the Iraqi War. And the Bronze Star, I might read, is awarded to any person who, while serving in any capacity in or with the Army of the United States after December 1941, distinguished himself or herself by heroic or notorious achievement or service not involving participation in aerial flight in connection with military operations against an armed enemy or while engaged in military operations involving conflict with an opposing armed force of which the United States is not a belligerent party. So Mr. Grunman is an actual war hero. And next to Mr. Grunman is Mr. Mike Fowler. Mr. Mike Fowler is a Army veteran serving in the Vietnam War also. Next, and a member of our staff. And then next to Mr. Fowler is Mr. Tom DeKemper, who I think is the only one out of this distinguished group who has served in both the United States Navy and the United States Army. And we have a long career for Mr. DeKemper, and we appreciate him being here. And then our youngest member of the Armed Services today is Mr. Jerry Helmy, who is an Indiana National Guardsman serving from 202 to the present day. So those are our honored guests, and we certainly appreciate them coming today. I have, before we get on with the rest of the program, there are two other individuals I want to mention because it is special, and this is their day. Mr. Edwin Schneider, a World War II veteran, was also the recipient of a Bronze Star with an oak leaf cluster. Mr. Schneider, would you mind standing, please? So that is a tremendously... An even higher honor was received by one of these gentlemen, Mr. Bernard Moeller. Mr. Moeller is the recipient of a Silver Star, and that is an extremely gallant, victorious award. Now we'll get on with our program. Our choir will now perform 40-some years ago. These gentlemen were just exactly like you guys here today. And the situation might be comparable, where there's a war, a conflict going on, and their patriotism and their love of their country was so strong that they stopped attending school, joined the service, and went to fight for their country. And I was observing a class yesterday, and I don't remember the name of the book, but they were a scenario just like this. And the question was being posed to the class: would you do that? Would you have the love of your country, give up coming to school every day, being with friends, and all the other freedoms that we enjoy in this country, and put your life in peril so that we enjoy the rights and freedoms that we have today? So these gentlemen today are receiving a diploma from Jasper High School because we feel very strongly that this is long overdue and should have been done many years ago. I will tell you to wait and give your applause at the end of all of them. I think it would also be nice if you have a grandfather or an uncle or a great uncle, or if you have a special relationship with one of the veterans today, that when we confer the diploma, if we would like to stand, that would be appreciated. It would not be considered inappropriate at all. So now to help us, Mr. Stepdoggle, myself, and our president of the student council, and DAR good citizen, Hannah Crow.
Navy, February 27, 1945 through July 20th, 1946. Richard Ernie, Army, March 20th, 1943 through May 12th, 1945. Thomas Fromme, Army, January 18th, 1944 through May 1st, 1946. Oscar Hurst, Army, April 23rd, 1943 through January 29th, 1946. Norbert Jones, Navy, July 21st, 1944 through June 19th, 1946. Norb Leakin, Army, December 5th, 1943 through May 1st, 1946. George Matthews, Army, March 26, 1945 through November 13, 1946. Bernard Moeller, Army, March 20, 1944 through May 1946. Richard Nicholson, Navy, July 21st, 1942 through January 3rd, 1946. Arnold Otto, Army, May 4th, 1945 through November 6th, 1946. Edwin Schneider, Army, October 3rd, 1942 through October 3rd, 1945. Hilbert Schnell, Army, April 1940 through 1945. Charles Seifert, Army Air Force, February 19, 1944 through May 11, 1946. Dennis Summerstein, Army, October 19, 1945 through November 17, 1946. Lawrence Stemley, Army, March 27, 1943 through August 12, 1946. 1944 through 1947. Jerome Stryker, Army, May 4th, 1945 through December 17th, 1946. Linus Stryker, Army, November 1942 through November 1945. Paul Striegel, Army, July 3rd, 1946 through November 11th, 1947. Victor Wagner, Army, May 4th, 1945 through November 1946. And please give these men a round of applause.
This is a portion of John F. Kennedy's inaugural address from 1961. The world is very different now, for man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life. And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans, born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed, and to which we are committed today at home and around the world. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, in order to assure the survival and success of liberty. This much we pledge, and more. In your hands, my fellow citizens, Walden and mine, will rest the final success of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give its testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but as a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us those same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history, the final judge of our deeds. Let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. Thank you.
At this time, our band will play military medley, and it is customary that when a service person hears their particular branch of service song played, that they stand. I believe it starts out with the Navy, so let's begin now. If any of you, and we have some students who are guardsmen, if you wish to stand, we would appreciate it. Mr. Goodhue?